All the time I see people debating, was the expanded universe canon? And I've seen this debate tackled and points made for why the EU was canon in several different ways, but I'm going to take a different approach today. The EU is canon, and this book proves it. Let me explain. What's so special about this guide? It's seemingly just focused on the movies. It's a guide that DK put out on June 20th, 2011 by Simon Beecroft. It's over 208 pages and features 200 plus heroes, villains, and many more. Even though it's only 201 characters highlighted, still technically 200 plus. But anyways, and it only covers the films. That's what's advertised on the cover. That's what's advertised on the spine. That's what's advertised on the back cover. This is a guide that covers the films. Nothing more, right? Well, let's take a closer look, shall we? And open the pages and see for ourselves why this is relevant to the expanded universe. Yes, the Star Wars Character Encyclopedia. I got this back in 2014 at a Barnes & Noble. I have spent many long hours pouring through this when I was a young, naive Star Wars fan who thought knowing who Yaddle was as deep as you could go into the lore. This is a fantastic book, and one that I really love and have a great nostalgia for. My copy is not in the best shape because it has been well loved. But, like I said, we gotta flip open the pages and see what expanded universe is inside these beautiful, beautiful pages. I feel like many EU fans wouldn't know that this is something that's essential to be picked up for EU fans, or at least essential in my opinion, due to just how cool these EU references are. This book is arranged alphabetically, so you've got the A's at the front, you go to B, and so on and so on. But this page in particular is important. Now, notably, there have been 3 updated versions of this character encyclopedia, one in 2016, one in 2018, and one in 2021. All 3 updated versions are, of course, only Disney canon, and have been updated to feature characters from those new films. Noticeably, Bolter Swan is not included in any of the updated editions. I've even flipped through a couple of them at bookstores, and Bolter Swan is noticeably absent for whatever reason. Now, Bolter Swan herself is not an EU character, but look at this paragraph up here. This, not even a paragraph, a sentence. Pictured is the Jedi Coffee Arana, who was an extra in Revenge of the Sith, and it says, fellow Jedi Coffee Arana takes Swan's life in order to strike Vader, but is himself killed in the attempt. Now that, right there, that sentence references the Star Wars Purge comic. The Star Wars Purge comic series was a series of Darth Vader-focused comics, and one issue featured Vader killing a bunch of Jedi. In that comic, Coffee Arana kills Bolter Swan, and this references the Star Wars Purge comic. This wasn't from the movies. This wasn't an idea invented in this 2011 guide. This is a straight-up reference to the Dark Horse Star Wars Purge comics. Isn't that not incredible? All of this is movie information. Movie information. More EU. Look at that. Micah Giat from the Jedi Council Acts of War comic series, where he was depicted as dying. He was a member of the Jedi High Council, and Bolter Swan was depicted as being apprenticed to him. And look at that. They didn't forget. The guy who wrote this didn't have to make these connections, but he noted that she dies in the expanded universe. He noted her master in the expanded universe. Up here we have more EU. Swan is a survivor of the Great Jedi Purge. That's not information from the films. That's information from the Purge comic book. She and 7 other Jedi survivors face Darth Vader. That ain't from her appearance in Attack of the Clones. Straight out of her appearance in the Purge comics. Is that not the most wild thing you've ever seen? EU in this Star Wars Films Character Encyclopedia. Let's keep going and dig through some more treasures. Flipping back a few pages, we get to Isla Sakura, Twi'lek Jedi Knight, and she appears in episode 2 and 3, so the information you'd expect to see is here, right? her execution with Order 66, information about her at Geonosis. And then look down here at this paragraph. Alyssa Curran is an intelligent, sometimes mischievous Jedi, alright? Her Jedi teacher was a troubled Jedi named Quinlan Voss. They had many adventures together, including a brush with the dark side, as depicted in the Siege on Seleucami arc of the Star Wars Republic comic series. This is an information from episodes 2 and 3, straight out of the EU. Sakura is also close to fellow Jedi Kit Fisto, another reference to the comic books. The Dark Horse comics depicted Isla Sakura and Kit Fisto having a relationship. That right there is more EU references. The author of this story didn't have to include all of these EU references, but he made the research and didn't just include movie information for these characters. He deliberately included expanded universe information. Let's find some more EU. Flipping a couple pages, we get to Luminar Unduli, Marillion Jedi Master. So the stuff you'd expect to see is here, stuff about how she's been in episodes 2 and 3 in the Clone Wars show, blah blah blah, right? The stuff you'd expect, right? But look at this paragraph. Unduli is a Miriel adept, a warrior who has perfected her combat skills. She has seen action in the Clone Wars on worlds such as Elam. That was depicted in Jendi Tartakovsky's Clone Wars 2003 microseries. Nadium, which is an extremely obscure reference to the Clone Wars Adventures graphic novels, or graphic novellas, I should say. That is a wild, super obscure reference. It only appears in one short comic and then is referenced afterwards in the General Grievous comic. Super obscure stuff there. And Geonosis, which, yeah, she was there during the TCW, because there's some TCW stuff in here as well. But these two here, expanded universe stuff. That's not from the films, straight out of the Star Wars expanded universe. The author, again, didn't have to do this, but he did his research on the characters he was writing and made sure to include all the relevant information. And that relevant information happened to be straight from the Star Wars EU. Sticking with the Jedi, we flip all the way over to this page here, where we get Shakti. Alright, some stuff you'd expect to see, stuff about her from episodes 2 and 3. Ahsoka Tano reference, yep. Stuff you'd expect to see in something summarizing the movies, right? Just some, no EU to see here. Oh wait, what's this? Jedi Master Shakti joined the Jedi High Council during the Clone Wars when she also became an effective Jedi General. He escapes Darth Vader's massacre at the Jedi Temple and organizes resistance to the Empire until Darth Vader's apprentice, Starkiller, defeats her. Look at that. A reference to Star Wars The Force Unleashed video game. Galen Marek, Starkiller, Darth Vader's secret apprentice, kills her in the Force Unleashed video game. And this mentions that. Is this not wild? The expanded universe references in this book make it worth picking up. I don't care if it's 10 or 15 bucks, it's worth it just for these gems of expanded universe references in a book that's advertised as being a character encyclopedia of the Star Wars films. This is just insanely cool. The author knew that the EU was relevant information, and he made sure to mention it. Man, oh man, is this so cool. Here's the last piece of EU that I found in this incredible character guide. But who knows, there could be more, so pick it up for yourself to see what EU you can find. Yaddle, appearing only in episode 1. So what on earth are they going to fill this page up about? Alright, some stuff about her age, okay. Cool. Alright, what's over here? I don't remember this from episode 1. Yaddle has devoted a lot of time to scholarly interests and spends much time in the Jedi archives, but she's been an active Jedi in the field too. Yaddle's final mission is with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, where she sacrifices her life to save the people of Mawin by using the Force to absorb a deadly biological weapon. That's right, a reference to Jedi Quest by Jude Watson, the young reader's novel series where Yaddle gives her life and dies, explaining why she's not in episode 2 or 3. And this Character Encyclopedia references that. I can't imagine the confusion of people who are just movie fans who pick up this guide and they're like, wait a minute, I don't remember that. Where is that from? The EU was canon. And we're seeing that right now, right here in this guidebook. So very cool. The Star Wars Character Encyclopedia features 201 characters from the Star Wars films. But those characters, some of them died in the EU, and some of them did interesting stuff in the Star Wars Expanded Universe. And those interesting exploits are mentioned in this book. Looking at this cover, did you expect there to be a Star Killer reference in this book? Because I'm betting you didn't. I cannot believe the wealth of expanded universe knowledge that the author of this book put into this book. I just think that's so cool. You've got the Lucas Books logo and everything. So cool that he put in the effort to do the research and make the expanded universe connections from all 6 Star Wars films. Wow. I just think that's so cool, and I've wanted to make this video for a long time. Finally decided now would be the time to do so, because I just think this is such a cool thing. I've been sitting on this for a long time. I don't know if people know there's expanded universe references in this book. I don't think a lot of EU fans have it in their collections, but I'm telling you, EU fans, get this for your collections. There is EU references, there is EU information in this book. Believe it or not, it's so crazy. Wikipedia even doesn't list that Star Killer is mentioned in this book. Definitely, if you have the means, track this down, Expanded Universe fans. I think it's worth it. I think it's so cool just for these little nods. And that, to me, totally proves that the EU was canon. This is not advertised as being part of the Expanded Universe. This isn't advertised as including characters from the books, comics, video games. Yet it does. And it mentions events from those books and comics and video games. It's just so cool. And this proves that the EU was considered canon. Because this book isn't advertised as being anything like that. Yet it still includes EU information when it's supposed to be focused on characters from the films. That shows that the EU was definitely considered canon. And props to the author who did an incredible job researching this. Great job, sir. Way to write a book with expanded universe connections. Can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts on this. I think this is so cool. Can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. And let me know, did you know about this? Did you know that there's expanded universe connections in this guidebook? And do you think, like I do, that this proves just how much the EU was considered canon at LucasFilm? Because I think this just really cements that fact. Thank you for watching.